Hello everyone, good Monday morning. Jake from Jake's Fish Tanks. Just wanted to talk to you all about my 75-gallon low-tech planted tank. Was not aware that all low-tech means is you don't have a CO2 system, so I've pretty much been doing low-tech tanks my entire life. I've always had not the greatest luck with plants, but good luck. I would say good luck. Can always seem to get them to grow. They don't take off like I've seen other tanks just take off and skyrocket, but the plants I do have, they live, they grow. So I don't know if you would consider that a successful planted tank, but to me, it's successful. I use a few C-Chem products. First, foremost, I think everybody should have it. It works great, and that's Flourish from C-Chem. That's just an all-around good fertilizer for all your plants. Puts in a lot of micro elements and nutrients, and I don't know, I'm kind of reading off the bottle, but it seems to do all my plants very good. They all seem to grow using it. Before I really got into learning how to take care of plants, it was recommended to me from my local fish store, and took it home, tried it. Didn't want to spend the $12 for that bottle. They have smaller bottles, but I didn't want to spend that money. It was like, I've never had luck with plants, or the luck I have had were with, I don't know, they grew but didn't really grow. I'm sure you all know what I mean. Guy at the local fish store recommended that. I used it and have had great success with it. And I started off with a bunch of green plants. Works great. Then I bought a few red plants and couldn't figure out, in the store they were really bright red. Get them home, they'd stay red for, maybe a month, and by the end of that month, all the red leaves had either turned green or new sprouts came up, but they were green as they were coming up. Well, come to find out, plants need iron. So, what did I do? I went and got Flourish Iron. It's an all C-Chem product. I don't know a whole lot of other products out there with the amount of success that C-Chem has. They're just, to me, a quality product. Not saying they're the best, but they work. Your red plants, all your red plants, anything red from what I've read, they need iron. That's what makes them the red color. And then the last chemical I use, I use it with caution. I read the instructions, or the directions, I should say. If you follow the directions on the bottle, and you have certain plants like Validarius, or I have corkscrew val in here, and I'm not sure, but it may do it to other. It's a CO2 supplement. It's basically liquid carbon, and that's Flourish XL. It trying to get it to focus on what it says. Anyway, Flourish XL. If you add too much of that, it will melt certain plants, turn them yellow. Not necessarily killing them, depending how far you went with it. But it definitely will make them yellow, almost, well, they melt. It's a term people use to describe what their plants are doing. They don't really, I guess, melt, but they fall apart. I don't use that too much. Maybe once every 2 weeks I put a cap full in, and this is a 75-gallon tank. I think it says 1 cap full for every 40 liters. I found that is too much, and they're saying once a week. That is seems to be a little too much for my tank. It may work in other tanks, but it melts some of my plants. It doesn't seem to do the trick. It does the complete opposite. So I like basically using Flourish and Flourish Iron. It does a great job with all my plants. They're growing. They grow good. The root structure is extremely strong. Several of my plants, they attach to whatever, like, I don't know, let me see if I can show it to you. Like, I'm going to try to point, but I don't know if it'll work. So, right about here, that is Anubias petite. It's a newer plant in there, but it's attaching itself to the, I got a branch that comes up, so it looks kind of like a little tree. So my root structure, and just using gravel, I don't use any dirt or any of the special planting gravel they have out there. It just, first of all, I'd have to take everything out of my tank, and I'm sure it would do great. I'm sure my plants would grow twice as much and everything, but I don't think my plants are having much of a problem growing now. They're all healthy. This plant, I'm going to try to point again, right there. That is Madagascar lace. Love that plant. It's cool when it's standing up. It's weird. It's like, depending on what time of the day or how bright the lights are, is when it'll stand up, and then it almost lays down like it's sleeping. There's a little current there. I'm thinking about moving it to see if it'll come back up. That's where my not power head, but my return for my pump is. So I don't know if that's having an effect on it. But all my plants are doing great. And I just use those 3 chemicals I explained. I use them pretty much by the directions. You don't have to. I would recommend whatever they tell you to use. Try half a dose first. Try half of whatever they tell you to do. And then, if that doesn't seem to help, then go full dose. Because you just don't know how your plants are going to react. I strongly believe in all plants, depending on the situation, depending how warm you keep your water, depending on how cold the water is, depending on the water conditions. If you've noticed, I have a very strong fish load, so they're constantly pooping and putting nitrates and ammonia into the water, and then my plants do a pretty good job getting rid of those. So that's probably most of my success there is with the fish. That my fish are like my gardeners, so to say. They keep most of the algae off. If you look on that back window right there, I can't figure out why that window or that pane of glass on the fish tank gets more algae than the rest of the tank. But I don't clean it. The fish do it, and I have snails in the tank, and they'll run up there, and I mean, that's pretty bad, considering I don't ever scrub my tank. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the rest of my glass, even the total opposite side, let's see if I can get there. No algae anywhere else on the tank. It's just that side. The rest of the tank is great. Well, that's it. 10-minute video, possibly 11 before I stop running my mouth, on how I take care of my low-tech tank. I say low-tech because I just don't get it. It's called low-tech because there is no CO2 system on it. Whatever. I have success. You don't need CO2 to have a successful planted tank. With certain plants, I will say, I have tried them with no success. Your little grasses, your bright light plants. Most of my plants are low to medium light. Low CO2 needed. I have some pothos plants hanging from the, I don't want to offend anybody, but they're hanging from the antlers of a deer I got, and they're going into the tank, and then on the other side, kind of wrapped around there. But they take out a lot of the nitrates and everything else. So I guess that helps with CO2, putting CO2 into the water. Just plants coming out of the water, from what I understand, from what I've read, that helps putting CO2 in this system. Nothing crazy. Well, I guess that's it. If you like the video, subscribe, hit the like button. If you don't, please comment. Always up for constructive criticism. Does not bother me. And I will take whatever you say in advisement. I don't know everything. I'm not pretending to know everything. This is just what works for me. Alright. Happy Monday all. Hope everybody has a good day. Goodbye.